Today is Tuesday, May 21, 2024. The first relatively warm day of the cooling season, 83 degrees. It was around 77 degrees in the house this afternoon, and the humidity was about 60%. It's now down to 72 over 50. And all that's holding it is this little Amana 5K cool zone. When I turned this on today, it got up to, or I guess got down a temperature within 45 seconds. It was operating totally normally. I guess we'll have to take a look from the outside, but it's working fine. As we can open my window screen. Pulling plenty of moisture. That's the factory drain hole. It's a very quiet machine. And then I have this fan here. I have the door closed going into the living room, and I have this fan here which I use to push the air down the hallway, and it's holding the rest of the rooms pretty comfortably as well. It's 75 over 50 in here. In the bathroom, it's 74 over 52. In the bedroom is 73. I don't think that humidity percentage is accurate. I think that thing reads about 8 to 10 below what it really is. And then in the computer room, it's 73 over 47. So just a little 5,000 BTUs machine is cooling the whole portion of the house here with no problem. In fact, it's cool enough I would have turned it off by now if it wasn't going to be so wet tonight. But this is one of the reasons why I don't like central air conditioning and would never install it, because for much of the summer I don't need anything more than this. So why run a whole 20-30 amp compressor when you can just run a little rotary that draws, I don't know, 3 or 4 amps. This costs a lot less. Now if I was to use the living room today, I'd have to put the carrier on, but I don't need to use it right now. I probably will eat dinner outside tonight, and I have some work to do down in the studio, so I'm not even going to be in there. No point in cooling it off if you're not going to be in there. Thawing out some turkey here, or that's chicken, right? And some sandwiches. Might have those for dinner, and we're going to make that to take to work tomorrow. It's still pretty warm in the living room. It's 80 degrees over 51%. I'm surprised it's only 80. It was sunny today. I thought it was going to be nearly 100 in here, but it wasn't. It's only 70 out now. It's going down quick, but the moisture's going up. I think at this point I'm actually going to open the door to this room, and we'll let that little Amana clean up this room as well. And it'll do it just fine. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this good on the camera, but there's a robin's nest under here, and the birds just hatched a couple days ago. Now you can kind of see them. There they are. They got their mouths open. I guess they're hungry. Got some strawberries growing out here, and some beans, some tomatoes, some peas, some peppers, and some cucumbers. These vines came back from last year. These were typical vinca vines, but these are flowering, which I've never seen before. Over here I planted some black-eyed Susan flowers. These are from my grandparents' house. They've been in here for about 2 weeks now, and they've more than doubled in size. So it looks like all 4 batches took nicely. In this garden we have 2 more pepper plants, some tomatoes, and some cucumbers. And it looks like it's time to get the neem oil out because this is already getting eaten. My succulent garden came back. We have a lot of pollen everywhere right now. We have, what is this called? Chicks and hens or something like that. Some weird name. And I forget what this is called. But these just grow in a maybe half-inch layer of soil on top of this rock. So it gets very dry and very hot during the day. And these types of plants thrive under these conditions. This is a blue spruce tree that I planted last year. It didn't do much of anything last year, but this year it's really going. It's been growing a tremendous amount of new growth over the last couple days. This has all come on within about a week or so. Now it's starting to grow really fast now. And then next to it we have this one, which I also planted last year, and it too is starting to take off now. So those should start getting big soon. And then this year I planted this rhododendron here, and even though this has only been in the ground for a couple of weeks, it's decided to blossom. It has these nice big bunches of flowers that it does, and it looks like it's going to have a tremendous amount of blossoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, at least 20 blossoms on it already, which is crazy. A nice foliage on the trees now. I don't remember what these are called, but these produce some kind of flowers on like a long stem. They bloomed the first year I moved in, and they did not bloom last year. So we'll see if these bloom again this year. I don't know. I put a little bit of fertilizer down, fertilizer for flowers, see if that pushes them along. I got a little evergreen there, and maybe I'll try to relocate that somewhere else. I want to get more evergreens on the property. These are looking better. I wasn't sure they were going to make it through the winter. I might have to move these to somewhere else because I guess I didn't realize this when I planted them, but these are not for shady areas. These prefer sun. So while they are still growing and this one has new growth on it, there's a spider, they're not doing very well. So we might have to put something else here instead. We'll see how they do this year. Maybe I'll fertilize these also. Everything I planted last year over here has come back. This is coming back real strong. That's got new growth on it. That's got growth on it. Those got bigger. That's doing fine. And there was a beautiful array of tulips and whatever those things are called this year. Some very interesting and unique colorings on the tulips. I should have taken some pictures of it. This came back. That's growing nicely. This is in good bloom. This bloomed the first year I was here. It did not bloom last year. And I think, well, I know that I cut it down last year and it didn't bloom. So at the end of the year, this year, I didn't cut it down this past fall. I left it alone. And it looks like it's got flowers forming on every branch, so I guess I need to learn how to prune this differently, because whatever I did the first year I was here did not work. But this is good. This will bloom again, but it's got to be pruned because it's getting too big. It's coming into the walkway, so I have to collect some information on that. But this should yield some really nice flowers this year. The lilac trees bloomed. They're pretty much finished at this point. This one I'm going to prune this year. It's getting out of control. This one still has a pretty nice shape though. All the daffodil bulbs I planted last year came up, and a few of them flowered. This one put a flower out, this one put a flower out, and this one put a flower out. But that's it. There wasn't a lot of flowers from those, so maybe they just need some more time. This flowered and finished, and now it's got new growth on there. That's doing good. My false indigo came back, and that's ready to bloom in a couple, maybe a week or so. It's hot out and sunny. That came back. That's doing nicely. So everything's pretty copacetic here in the landscaping. I got 2 peonies come up this year. Last year I had 1. It didn't bloom or do anything. This year I've got 2. So we'll see if any of these do anything. These produce a very nice flower, so we'll see what happens with those. The roses are ready to go. They're just about gonna bloom in a week or so. We got to keep spraying these with the neem oil as well, because the aphids will come over here and eat this. I've been spraying this pretty consistently, so I think I've got it under control. Last year it got a bit out of control, and I lost a bunch of the flowers because of it. This flower bed's getting a bit out of control. Got to pull all these weeds out, put new mulch down. This broke, so it's only got I think 2 good branches left, so I'm going to have to replace this, unfortunately. These I've decided I'll keep, but I got to try to prune these back and shape them up a little better. This one's out of control. This one's still got a decent shape to it, but it's getting a little bit too big. It's starting to come into the yard, and I don't want that. So I'll figure out. I'll have to collect some information on this and prune that properly. Got a hosta coming up there, which I think I'm going to move. We have, I forget what these are called. I don't remember, but this is a beautiful plant. This bloomed the first year I was here. It did not bloom last year. This year it bloomed. And it's got tons of flowers on it, way more than it did the first year. And they're really beautiful flowers. Got some ivy coming into the driveway here. I wanted this to grow on the wall, but it seems to have rooted itself down there. I have to pull that out. We got all the tiger lilies came back. I tried to remove these last year to put them somewhere else, but it clearly didn't work because they all came back. And they're already getting ready to bloom. So I guess these will just have to be here. I want to put a lamppost here and some hostas, but I guess we're going to have hostas and tiger lilies because I can't get rid of them. This area over here is doing much better than it did last year. All the hostas came back and they're already getting pretty big. Put a few more up here, and they're all looking pretty good. That flower thing bloomed already. There's a mushroom here. This is running really good now. Very, very quiet machine. Planted some corn in this garden. I've never had good results growing corn, but maybe this year it'll work. I planted a bunch more than I usually do, so I think there was a problem in the past. Like it needs pollination from each of the plants to move around or something. Well, we'll see what happens with this. This thing came back and it's huge. And then we've got roses coming on here. And somebody's calling me. There's the robin's nest. This is one of my favorite hours of the day, when the sun gets lower in the sky and it starts to shine through the fresh spring leaves. It's a beautiful green color. Here's a bunch of air conditioners I've accumulated this month. This one is a Fetters. It's identical to that one. These are both 8,000 BTU models. Kevin picked these up at Savers, and this one was not functional when he got it. That one was functional but absolutely filthy. So this one he gave me this one, and in that one I'm just going to store for him for a couple years until he buys his own house and has a use case for it. So this one, it needs a full, actually both of them need a full motor rework. This one is locked up solid. He said he couldn't get it to free up, so that's going to be a challenge. And this one is free and it runs, but it screams. So we're going to have to do a full tear down and cleaning and relubrication of both of the motors in these things. Despite what a lot of people say about these units, I think these are very good. These two machines have Matsushita rotary compressors, which is a very good Japanese high quality brand, and the coils are, I think, 3 or 4 rows thick on the back, and probably at least 3 on the front. I haven't taken one of these apart yet. I don't remember what he said about it, but they're very good machines, high performance and pretty well made. These are 25 years old now, and we're just starting to have problems with the fan motors. That's not bad. And although I don't think that these have oil ports, so it's hard to argue lack of maintenance, if a couple drops of oil was put into the bearings every couple of years, they likely would still be running with no problem. This one has some evidence that it fell out of a window. You can see it's totally busted up in the back there, but it still runs with no problems. It's pretty impressive. Good quality build. The one on the bottom is an EQK that's going to go to Russ. I picked that up for him. I'll do a video on that one before I give it to him. This one is an international series, 5,000. I think it's technically 5,100 or something like that, but Christian gave me this one. This originally came from Van's middle school, I think he said. I'm not sure why he wanted to give it up. I would have wanted to keep something like that, but I guess he gave it to Christian at some point, and then Christian gave it to me, so now I have it. And this is going to be going through the wall in the media room at some point. This one is a Montgomery Ward branded unit. It's a Fetters. It's very similar to the one that I used in the kitchen last year, except this one has the all brown guard, which I like better. I believe this is identical to the 14,000 that I have, or I think that one's like a 13,700. I don't know what's with all these weird oddball numbers for the capacity, but anyways, this one's more or less a 1 ton, 12,000. It's got the concealed controls there, which I think is really cool. A lot of the older units did that. I'll probably use this one somewhere this year. I think Kevin and I are going to share this one. I got it for free. Van got it for free. He gave it to me. But both Kevin and I really like these machines, so I'm going to use it, then maybe he'll use it for a summer or whatever. And then lastly we have this carrier casement. Van gave me this one. It is a 5,000 BTU, And it does happen to be more or less the same size as the air temp one. So this will be able to be used interchangeably with the air temp in the living room if I ever get around to building that frame. This one has a reciprocating compressor in it. And it looks like it's the same kind of control set as the Siesta that I have. The font and everything is the same. This is really good equipment. This Fetters is practically brand new. I'm not even sure it was used for 1 year. The rest of these are all pretty well used. Here's what they look like from the back. The carrier is actually in pretty good shape still. The logo is kind of there. The Fetters is immaculate. These Fetters are kind of jacked up but functional. The logos are still in pretty good shape. And there's the carrier casement. It's got the dedicated logo, which should be easier to cosmetically repair than that is, because that's just inked on there. This one's got a lot of rust, but if we repaint this, it'll look a lot better, and the coil itself seems fine, so I think we can get that looking pretty good again. And then over here, this is pretty bad, but it's not enough to really be concerned about. This EQK is actually in pretty good shape too. Although it is fairly high hours, it's not that dirty and the coil's not that corroded or rotted. So that's good. The letter H gave me another Lasco Ultra Force window fan. This turned up locally near him. And the crazy HOA over there does not allow window fans, so he passed it along to me. I picked this up at the OK Will recently. This was $8, which is kind of steep, but this is a really nice shade. I really like these 70s tulip shades. This one's kind of unique. It's got the thing to sit on a bulb, so it's sit on top of a lamp without a harp. It's nighttime now. Got a lot done today, did a lot of videos, but it's time to wrap up downstairs, so we'll turn the dehumidifiers on. And we'll head upstairs for the night. To water some plants outside, so we're going to go ahead and turn on the street lights. This one has a very different color when it starts up compared to this one. They are two different bulbs, I think. I don't remember what's in the other one now. But this one becomes orange very quickly. And this one kind of stays whiter. Deep orange, kind of pinkish. And that one's taking longer to warm up than this one is. I'll go turn the other ones on, and we'll give it a minute, and we'll do a walkthrough of the street lights just to see what it looks like. That's the deck lights, and this is the one on the peak. I gotta clean these fixtures out. These things are filthy. I've also noticed that a lot of these are becoming loose. That one seems pretty clean still. This is the touch and glow one. Whereas these over here are the woods ones. Two of these are the original ones I bought at the old location. Or maybe one of the ones in the front is, I don't remember. But either way, those two are in service here. Either one of these three on the deck or one of the two on the front. I think I'm going to put that 50 watts wall pack there instead. The sodium wall pack. I just have to find it again. This has been holding up surprisingly well. This is it's a 13 watt CFL. I checked in on this a couple months ago, and the bulb was like totally yellowed and breaking down. It looks like it's just getting worse and worse, of course, but it still works. It's been running for well over a year now, I think. I thought for sure that the CFL was going to go. Oh wow, look at that. The front of this is actually yellowed from the sun, but this is the south side. This beats in the sun all day. I thought for sure that the CFL was not going to last that long in there at all, but surprisingly it has. This is one of the things I need to water. Just planted this a couple days ago. And I have to have this guard on there because the stinking raccoon comes by and pulls every one of them out, which is really obnoxious. These are all pretty much up to brightness now. You can see the yard is pretty well lit up. I've really been enjoying the street lights recently. Definitely going to add some more this summer. Next month or two, once the ad revenue goes up and I have some money to do stuff with. Then I buy some more poles and get a few more street lights mounted. This mounting apparatus is excellent. I'm going to use the same setup in the other spots.